many times have you tried to run away? You've run away like 17 times.
About to be 19.
Fuck, I got the numbers wrong on that one.
Shit.
Sounds like that needs to be retuned. Anyway, my Bruins friends, it is time to hug it out! As the Bruins win 6-3 tonight against the Arizona Coyotes in their home opener, bringing their winning streak against the Arizona Coyotes to 19 games straight. And just for reference sake, teams on opposite sides of the AHL, so like Eastern to Western, only play each other twice a year. Which means the Bruins have not lost a game against the Arizona Coyotes since October 9th, 2010. It has been over a decade since the Bruins last lost to the Coyotes. That is impressive. But anyway, I'm welcome back to Into the Den, everybody. I'm your host, 100 Bex, and tonight was exactly how you'd expect the Bruins to play against a Coyotes team that's missing Jacob Chitrin. And speaking of Jacob, turns out that I didn't know this until the middle of the game, but according to Jack Edwards, Jakob Lauko, not Jakob Lauko, Jakob Zaboral has decided to anglicize his first name as of this morning. So it is going to take a while for me to properly adjust to calling him Jacob Lauko. But I mean, it's just the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. For some of the injuries that the Bruins are suffering for tonight. For tonight, we had unfortunately Jake DeBrusk ended up getting injured in the first game and exiting meaning that Craig Smith got time on the top line for the first time since about halfway through last season. And it was around like Christmas or sometime like that where they decided where everybody was injured and or had COVID and decided we're gonna put Smith on the top line, but Smith ends up on the top line. Trent Frederick in his season debut ends up on the third with AJ Greer and Charlie Coyle, and we will talk about those two a lot more later tonight. But in good news, Matt Grzelcyk is trending towards coming back a little bit earlier than expected. He's apparently expected to be back sometime within the next next week or two. Which is fantastic, especially because Brandon Carlo ended up exiting tonight's game with an upper body injury. So it's hard. So if that goes for longer, then we're going to be short on defensemen. So it's good to know that we're getting one of our good ones back. We're going to talk about the game in just a little bit, but first of all, I have to send my condolences to the Bruins team chef Keith Garman, who sadly passed away 3 days ago. At the age of he was born in '88, so at the age of 34, I think. Yeah, 34. Deepest condolences. There's not really much else I can say about it, but it's important. But my heart goes out to the family. and it doesn't look like. And I'm happy that the Bruins were able to keep on keeping on with tonight's game in memory of him. It was a grim way to start the home opener with that moment of silence, but also it came after they did the whole hey, let's introduce everybody for the home opener. And DeBrusque, oh my god, DeBrusque was like, dude, I don't know what DeBrusque comes out in a suit on the bench, and I'm like, and he just looks like, dude, I don't know what happened. I just got injured. Dude, I'm sorry. Not like in a God, I'm sorry, but like I don't fucking know. Anyway, this is also the first time we got Swayman in net. It was and honestly, he had a pretty good game. You see 3 goals allowed on 24 shots and think, oh, that's not really that great. But the second period, we'll talk about that. But puck drops less than 10 seconds in. Everybody's trying to. Josh Brown is already trying to fuck with Jacob Lauko. Great, we're off to a great start. Everybody's trying to fuck with the rookie again. And we end up getting and a little bit later on, we end up getting the game's first penalty. Another former Bruin, Nick Ritchie, ends up going to the box for cross-checking Brandon Carlo. And I can't tell if our penalty kill is if our power play one just kind of sucks, or Arizona's penalty kill is really good. Considering that they were without Jacob Chychrun tonight, I'd say that we kind of sucked. I think at first, until we end up getting a 5-on-3 for Troy Stetcher slashing Pavel Zak. And as the 5-on-3 subsides, and the Bruins get another minute and a half of power play, I'm starting to think that our power play didn't really make it as many strides as we wanted to, until our second power play unit ends up dragging half of the Coyotes to behind the net. Craig Smith manages to squeeze out the puck to Nick Foligno. Foligno's shot bounces off the crossbar, but he has all the attention of the two remaining Coyotes, his penalty kill, and Karel Vejmelka, and Pavel Zacha is just right there, and he ends up getting one of the easiest first goals of his one of the easiest first goals of a season he'll ever get. And hey, this also served as Foligno's 500th point puck. So who knows who's getting that puck at the end of the night. But one thing that I really liked about the Bruins for this game was we were spending so much time in their end. There were like a few times where we really just let them just stay in our end for a good 20-30 seconds. But for every opportunity they had that was like that, we had like 2 or 3, and one of them ended up being freaking amazing. Just as they're trying to get the puck out of their zone, AJ Greer comes with one of the best disruptions I've ever seen. From someone who from like a third liner, or just nabbing the puck and batting it towards the sideline, towards the wall, for Trent Frederick. Frederick goes to the center right, chases up the middle, and passes it to an accelerating Coyle who top shells it to put the Bruins up 2-0 before the end of the first period. Now the second period starts, and the Bruins have and Trent Frederick does Trent Frederick things, aka get into fights with people, aka gets into fights with people. Our first fighting major is with Trent Frederick going against Liam O'Brien. Hello, Brian. And and during the 5 minutes that both players are spending for this one, for this fighting major, Jakub Lauko scores his first goal in the Genjutsu! Yeah, it turns out that Foligno hasn't really kicked the habit of ruining good moments. And it's because because not only did Lauko's goal end up ricocheting off of his foot, which means the goal would have counted for Foligno and not for Lauko. Foligno's foot was just barely in the crease. According to the refs, even though it wasn't in the crease, it was not in the crease. There was no goaltender interference. There was no crease interference. And Jack Edwards with the best line ever. I wonder how the crowd feels about this, with the entire crowd doing the famous bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. I love that chant. But anyway, a lot of time ends up passing. A good amount of time ends up passing, and eventually, I get so, and eventually something happens that I don't think I've ever seen. That being Jeremy Swayman's net ends up just tilting forward. I've seen, I don't think I've seen goals go in where someone shoots it through the like underneath the bottom bars while someone accidentally pushes it up, and that shit's cool as hell, although it's not a legal goal. Well, I don't think that I've seen the net just tilt forward and just stay tilted. I really don't think I've ever seen in that one and go through. But anyway, Hall ends up getting 2 for hooking, which was kind of the second period wasn't really that good for the Bruins as a skating team, but they were but it was good for the but it was definitely good for Jeremy Swayman. And like, Bruins, why are we taking like 3 penalties over the course of over the course of like 6-7 minutes? And especially with Lindholm and Nosek, why are you two tripping people right in front of the refs? And Nosek, why, after you trip someone, are you trying to play the puck without a stick? What the? You can't do that. You can't play the puck without a stick. It's like trying to play lacrosse with your bare hands. You can't do that. Anyway, Connor Clifton just sends pretty much like a Hail Mary from the blue line, from the Bruins blue line, and Foligno just redirects it in midair, just barely so that it goes in, and it was just beautiful, amazing. I don't think I've ever. That might have been the best play that Foligno has made. That might have been one of the best plays that Foligno has made for the while he was on the Bruins. There was another one where two like this might have honestly been in Nick Foligno's best game with the Bruins, and it's kind of weird that you would blow that best game on the second game of the season against the Arizona Coyotes. But I mean, he got an assist, he got a goal, he stopped a 2-on-1, and it was freaking amazing. And Swayman and God bless him, only letting one shot during that second period where the Bruins looked kind of not great. He only let in one shot on 14, which is honestly a really good ratio. Which means he literally, which is great. I love that. Okay. Anyway, the second period ends, third period starts. Bruins got a fumble in front of their own net, and Josh Brown catches everybody lacking and scores right on Swayman. And Troy Stecher ends up going for tripping, and Pavel Zacha kind of forgets what team he's on and just passes it to Shane Gostisbehere in the neutral zone, and it allows Gostisbehere to just go shorthanded right up to Swayman and shoot it. So congratulations, Arizona. You scored in three of the three of the four ways that you can score. All you needed was a penalty shot for tonight, but I mean, we all know how common those are. Not very. Anyway, the refs kind of fucked the Bruins. And Clifton shoots from the blue line yet again, and Karel Vejmelka almost saves it and has full possession of it. But he doesn't have full. He saves it, but doesn't have full possession of it. But it's still like fumbling around in his grasp. And Bergeron swats the puck away and almost scores on it. But the refs just call it dead because they think Vejmelka has possession of it. After that, the Bruins just kind of look a little bit off until they don't. Where after some brilliant triangle passing, and Forbort ends up shooting from the blue, also from the blue line. Actually, no, not really from the blue line, more so from the top of the circles. And just it trickles through. Vejmelka's wickets and goes in fourth. Put the Bruins up 4-3. What is it? And like 3 minutes later, Lindholm catches pretty much the entire Arizona Coyotes lacking and passes the puck right up to AJ Greer, and that is how you take advantage of an incomplete line change. I wonder if Marchand was on the bench taking notes on that one. We're never gonna forget 2019, Brad. I'm sorry, but AJ Greer had also a great game, but honestly, I think that the star of this game, the 2 stars of this game, the 3 stars of this game, undoubtedly are Greer, Swayman, and Foligno. And especially with actually no, it's Greer, Foligno, and Coyle. The most unlikely trio you could ever have as your 3 stars of the game. Especially with Arizona pulling Vejmelka and Coyle absolutely dangling the shit out of 2 Coyotes players and passing it up the neutral zone to AJ Greer for him to snipe into the empty net. The Bruins have scored 11 goals over their first 2 games, and only one player has multiple goals, and only one player has more than 1 goal. That person is AJ fucking Greer. Incredible, amazing. I love it. And so what did we really learn from this? Honestly, I don't think we learned much. I think that the Arizona Coyotes still need a lot more to actually be any sort of threat. Can Dylan Guenther be a good piece to that? Absolutely, absolutely. Do they need more than just Dylan Guenther to produce to be good? Yeah, I mean they already have Clayton Keller, they already have Lawson Krupp. It's like they have pieces. They just need to get it to mesh together. They also need a goalie. I love Karel Vejmelka is someone you would keep as a backup. He's sort of like an Eric Comrie type person. Someone you would love to have as a backup, but you would be really reluctant to have as like a consistent starter. Sort of like him. Ville Husso is also one of those type of people. Eric Shelgren. Meanwhile, the Bruins are pretty set for everything. I don't think that. I think next game. When is the Bruins' next game? Pardon me. Their next game is Monday against the Florida Panthers. Now that is going to be a challenge. They lost stuff. Who is it? They lost. Who is it? Frick. Huberdeau. Oh my god. It's because their names both end in O in EAU, and their first names are both Johnny. Frick. They lost Jonathan Huberdeau, and they lost both Johnny Huberdeau and Mackenzie Weegar. They have Matthew Tkachuk, but I don't know how well he's going to mesh into that system. I mean, sure, you still have Sasha Barkov, you still have Aaron Ekblad, you still have Spencer Knight, you still have Bobrovsky, but I don't know how well that's gonna really play out for them all the way. But the Bruins, I'm hoping that we give them what for, because if we can beat them without Marchand, without McAvoy, I think this team might be going somewhere. But that is it for tonight's episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Click like if you like. Click subscribe if you really like. Down below are my TikTok and my Twitch.tv. I am thinking about possibly extending streaming to this channel, where I'll be doing some like Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I'll be doing some Team Fortress 2. I'll be doing pretty much anything I freaking please. But that is it from tonight's episode. Thank you all so much for watching, and take care.